NerdyTooth here, and this is a new spot. You kind of actually saw it in the last video I posted for the channel trailer, but this is the new set. Unfortunately, there's going to be a little glare, and I have to get this video made because I've been putting off this video for way too long now. I need to talk about Sonic Frontiers. Now, Sonic Frontiers comes out in literally 2 days. Today is Sunday as of recording this, and the game comes out on the 8th. Tomorrow, Monday, November 7th, is the 4-year anniversary for Forces. Whether you see this as a good thing or not, I don't. I don't like the game. But the biggest thing to keep in mind for me, at least, is I did not like Forces. I thought it was a step away from where we really needed to go. And it was too formulaic, and it didn't take any real risks. It was too safe, and the gameplay wasn't fun. Story was lackluster, and it just took no risk. It had no reason to be made, honestly, in my opinion. I'm not going to get into Forces too much in this video because I'm actually going to be reviewing Forces in its entirety very, very, very soon. For those of you who know, I'm working on a Sonic in the Storybook sequel trilogy, because it's not really a trilogy because there's only 2 games, and I'm working on that review as we speak. We're still getting everything kind of figured out, and I guess this is me telling you right now that the Sonic in the Storybook series video is delayed. I know I said 2022, but we just don't have a lot of time to get everything that we need to get done for that video to get it done by this year. I would like to get it done by this year, and if it's still coming out this year, I will let you guys know if it's coming out this year. But as of right now, it's looking to be delayed. So that's enough about future projects. We'll talk about Sonic Frontiers. We knew about Sonic Frontiers when Sonic Colors Ultimate was announced. Now, when they announced Ultimate at the very end of, I believe it was a Sonic Central, it was basically Sonic's version of a Nintendo Direct. It was Sega's version of doing one of those, but it was just mainly for Sonic. They showed us a CG trailer for Sonic Frontiers. We didn't know what it was called at the time. Titles like Rangers was the biggest one flowing around, because I think someone in the files ended up finding the title Rangers, so people started calling it Sonic Rangers. We finally found out during the second trailer that the game was called Sonic Frontiers. And the trailer showed us this beautiful open world to run around, do stuff in. But little did we know that was only one of the 5 islands that are going to be in this game. The Starfall Islands make up 5 islands in the game, and we've been only mainly seeing the first one upon its reveal. But we found out more via them showing footage of Ares Island, it's the desert island we're seeing, and Kronos Island, which is the volcanic island that we're seeing a lot of right now. But the main thing I want to talk about is my kind of journey with the game so far. I want to get my thoughts out before the game comes out, basically. My biggest thing is that for the longest time, ever since the first trailer we ever got, and I'm not talking about the CG trailers or the one that showed off the open world because that doesn't count, ever since the IGN first video came out, ever since that video came out, my hype was limited. My expectations were super low. But, you know, because the biggest problem I have with Forces is that my hype blinded me going in the game. So when it came to Sonic Frontiers, I told myself, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I am just going to be optimistic as possible. I'm not going to take one side to hate the game. I'm not going to take a side to love this game. I'm just going to be middle of the road optimistic. But now that we've seen everything that we've seen, and we've heard everything we've heard, and we're getting really, really close to the release date, I am excited. I am excited to play the game. But I'm still going to keep my hype to a limited expectation. Now, lowering that expectation could possibly, it could either do 2 things. My expectations could be so low that I end up really liking the game, or I think about it way too much of having those lower expectations, and I just kind of go blindly and just defend the game, because I do want to like Frontiers. It looks like it's going to be a fun time. Combat, open zone exploration, all this kind of fun stuff that they're doing. And I want to like that game, because if this game does well, they're going to make more of these that are going to be better than Frontiers, if Frontiers is already not good itself. So the biggest thing I want to see is Sega succeed and Sonic Team progress. Now, where I think that the problem is either between Sega or Sonic Team. That's a whole other topic entirely, but I just want to get out my topics of Frontiers. The gameplay, when it was first shown off, looked a little tanky, in my opinion. You could still move around, but Tank Sonic from Generations was gone. And I think that was for the best. Because when you try to do turns and very specific movements in Generations, you could always end up killing yourself, because Sonic moves around like a freaking tank in those games. Why we call him Tank Sonic. Lost World was decent. I don't love Lost World, but it was decent controls. And then Forces, there really was no control besides mashing the X button, now was there? And I will say, the combat does look kind of fun in Frontiers. I'm not gonna lie. Well, yes, it's button mashing. A lot of combat can be button mashing, combos, here, there, everywhere. But, for a game like Sonic, I think button mashing combat doesn't make it a bad thing. If you played Sonic Unleashed for the first time and you played with the Werehog, you would probably be button mashing to start, but then you finally learn out those combos that you can implement into your gameplay style, and it can be even more fun. So there's probably going to be the same people going into Frontiers. They're going to start with the button mashing, but then they're going to find out if they do combos, it could probably be very effective. The open zone exploration looks a lot of fun. I do want to see a bit more of the puzzles, because I feel like they haven't really been showing off those puzzles a whole lot. And everything that they have shown has been very simplistic and basic. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I would like to see them really, really expand on that further in the future if they want to make another game like Frontiers. So that's something I also would like to see, is the expansion off the puzzles and really, really kind of mess with the brain of the player. And also another thing to keep in mind is that the voice acting in particular, now a lot of people haven't heard a lot of the voice acting. I've seen a couple clips of here and there of some of the voice acting. A lot of the dialogue has actually been written by Ian Flynn, who works on the Sonic comics. And I recently seen a clip. I'm not going to play it here because it's kind of spoilery, and it's spoiler, but it's not. But it is. But for people that haven't played the game, so I'm not going to play it here. But it's the character interactions between Sonic and someone else, and it just feels more alive and, real than, say, Sonic's interactions with anyone from Colors to Forces to even really Team Sonic Racing. A lot of the interactions in that game feel very staged and extremely scripted with the line delivery, and unfortunately the writers' previous game and the previous games just did not work, in my opinion. But the dialogue that was in Frontiers that I saw works extremely well. You can just tell that the way they talk to each other, there's just this certain difference in quality in not only voice direction, but in line delivery and chemistry alone. It's through the roof. And when it comes to new characters, there's this AI voice that you hear in one of the first cutscenes of the game that has not taken a physical form yet. But there's this new character called Sage that we see in a lot of the trailers. And it's interesting to see where they're going with this particular character, because I don't even really know how to get into it, because I don't really know almost anything about the character besides she wants Sonic to leave the islands. And that's the only thing that I know, is that she wants Sonic to leave these islands. But I am interested to see where they're going with the character, to say the least. From what I've seen, it looks graphically, it looks amazing. The music is very good, in my opinion. I'm very interested to see where they're going with this. And last but not least, I really do want to know just how's this going to turn out. You know, I really hope Frontiers does really well. Sega and Sonic Team have said that the biggest win for them is to get 70 or higher on Metacritic. I believe they've come out and said that they would like to get a high score on Metacritic specifically. So if it happens, you know, then that's all they need to really hear. And one last thing before I go here, I'm actually going to be streaming in my entire playthrough of Sonic Frontiers. Whenever I'm playing the game, I'll be streaming it for you guys, because I want you guys to be there for my experience of the game. And I can't wait. I'm very, very excited to see what's going to be going on in this game. And I just want you guys there with me for the experience. So the first stream will be coming out this Tuesday, around 3 o'clock Eastern time, sometime in between then, because I'll still have to install the game. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but it'll be later in the day, I will say. It'll be around later in the day, and then there'll be another stream the following day. Also, keep your eyes out for a top 10 movies of 2022, whether that be in the form of an R&R, or whether that be a form of just one of these discussion videos where I sit down and I talk to you guys. You know, the usual. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, hit that like button, turn on the notification bell so you guys get notified when I post again, or when I go live. So, with that being said, thank you, and remember, keep calm and nerd on, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.